mob. Fuck it. There's one big blob of recordings. Oh yeah, look at this bright ass screen. There we go. That's somewhat better. Do I need more ambient light? Just I gotta highlight my grays and my beard.
Yeah, I just shaved mine down, or I'd have way more.
Yeah, I mean, I can't escape it anymore. The only thing
No.
that I do, because gray hairs grow weird, like when I get them in my lip and in the corners right here, them bitches like start like cat whiskers and shit. I gotta clip them motherfuckers.
Yeah, I started getting grades years ago, and I just stopped caring.
Yeah, that's probably about the best way to do it. All right, so I haven't done this in damn near a month. So let me refresh my brain on how this go. Okay. What up, everybody? This your boy B Rob, and I'm back with another edition of the Random Rambles with Rob podcast. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you, the listener, for coming back each and every week, or however you listen to podcasts, which is kind of ironic for me to say because I haven't been doing this podcast in a couple of weeks. But, I appreciate you for listening. But if anybody recommended you to me, I would like for you to go ahead and lean over and give that person a crisp high five. But if you're not in that person's general vicinity, why don't you pick up your favorite social media app of choice, which is very slim nowadays, and send that person a well-crafted DM telling them thank you for recommending you to me. Speaking of social media, you can find the Random Rounds with Rob on various social media platforms to include Twitter, or X, or whatever the fuck you call it, at 3R Show, Instagram at the 3R Show, Blue Sky 3R Show, Twitch 3R Show. I'm just rambling shit off the top of my head, but if you can't remember all those things, you can go to randomrob.com to where you can find many different ways to help support the show and the sponsor, which they probably disown me by now because I haven't been doing any motherfucking episodes and plugging the sponsor, Hooks, Rubs, and Spices. That's right. Go to hooksrub.com and you can get 15% off your order if the promo code is still active by using promo code RANDOM. That's like on my shirt here, random, and on the little placard up there on the wall, random. So go to hooksrub.com, use that promo code RANDOM, and get 15% off your order if it's still valid. If not, DM me and I'll tell you go fuck yourself. Anyway, this is the Random Rounds with Rob, so we're gonna do something random. Not really. You know what I do. I just talk a whole bunch of shit, and I have a profound love or like of professional wrestling. I already went many episodes back and talked about what love is in professional wrestling. And I realized soon that I don't love professional wrestling. I like it a lot. I enjoy it, but I don't love it because I've seen people spend money, their last bit of change, on meet and greets rather than food to feed their fucking bodies and shit, So I don't love wrestling that much. I don't even like it that much. I'm going to eat. I'm going to give me some goddamn double downs and shit and some goddamn 4-for-4s at Wendy's or something. I'm going to eat, goddamn it. Just as every true wrestling fan should. Speaking of professional wrestling, I'm going to be talking a lot about professional wrestling on this edition of the episode, and I am not alone. To my virtual right, as I point left in real life, is the man that I have adopted as my freaking pro wrestling brother from another mother, and he is one of my favorites from the RBR neighborhood. Sorry, John. I know you're typing right now. But joining me is one Mr. KAZ Wheeler. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you. That was a great introduction.
Yeah. You are my favorite, though. You stayed up many a late nights with me while we watched New Japan.
Oh yeah, that's the only way I can stay up at this point is if I got somebody to talk to.
Yeah,
If I'm alone, I'm passing out.
Yeah, and that's what helped me get through many late nights on the night shift and everything. Just chatting back with you, just discussing the live shows that are going on at like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, Japan time and shit. Well, state time, but is our time 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. So I enjoyed those times. I miss those times, kind of, but I'm not gonna wake up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning anymore to do that. So, shit. So, what we're gonna do today, and me and Kaz kind of talked about it, on our various social media accounts and whatnot about the New Japan Cup that's coming up here pretty soon. They already announced the brackets and everything is going to start the earliest as of March 6th, I believe. And we're going to kind of fantasy book this thing. Well, not fantasy book it or whatever, kind of give our predictions or whatever, a little March Madness style type joint or whatnot. He already got his shit figured out and picked. I ain't got none of this stuff. I'm doing it live as we speak, as we record it and whatnot. But other than New Japan and some other things we'll cover in a little bit, Kaz, what profession outside of WWE and AEW have you been enjoying the most?
Ooh, outside of AEW. Actually, it's probably got to be New Texas Pro Wrestling right here in Houston.
You fucking right, it is. I didn't set him up for that. He said that with his own thoughts in mind and everything. I didn't make him say that. Yeah, I'll cash that in a little bit.
You know what's the best about it, B-Rob?
What?
It's 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah, you sorry son of a bitch. So yeah, me and him, we have a love-hate relationship. I mean, I love him because he's my brother in wrestling arms and everything, but like I hate him because it's New Texas Pro performs 5 minutes from his house. He can walk if he wanted to. Sorry, motherfucker, you. And I have to drive so far, but like my body is used to the trip now, so it doesn't bother me that much, but it bothers me enough to say fuck you. But I mean, what have you been enjoying about that experience? Because I know when it was in a tin can, you wasn't going all that much because you had to travel. But like, just the tin can in itself is just like a hazard.
Yeah. No. It took me 30 minutes to park the one time I got there.
Yes.
No, I hadn't been to a lot of indie shows in years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'd probably been. I bet it'd been at least a decade since I'd been to an indie show before they started running out here in Pasadena.
Word.
And when they started, I was just like, okay, there's a few names that I kind of recognize. Why not go check it out and see what it's like? And it's a lot of fun just being there live. And it's not a huge crowd, but it's always a really good crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, especially for indie promotions, really good matches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then just like I didn't get into indie wrestling until 2014.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I got my first taste of independent wrestling and whatnot, because I was titty fed on WWE coming up and everything. WCW as well, but like more than not, WWF, WWE was the main jam for me or whatever. So to see independent wrestling, it was a shock to me because it's like, none of these motherfuckers WWE, WWF. What the fuck is this? Why are we in a school gym? Just that whole aesthetic of the thing and whatnot. And I think that very first independent match that I saw was for Central States Championship Wrestling out of Rolla, Missouri. And on the card, on on base, because I was still in the military, is at a Fort Linwood Elementary School in Missouri. And it was Jordan Grace versus a girl I don't even think wrestle anymore, or if she still is, I can't even recognize her to point her out or whatever. But I do remember Jordan Grace because that was the very first independent match that I saw. It was her versus I think the girl name was Mercedes or something like that. And hell of a match, hell of a competitor even then, in 2014 or whatever. And I was just like, wow, this girl going places. And then lo and behold, here we are. Jordan Grace is just truly the juggernaut.
Yeah, now she's showing up everywhere.
Yeah, for real. Even in the goddamn Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
That was. How did you feel about that?
I was shocked. I don't follow TNA that deeply, but I mean, I've known who Jordan Grace was from indies and stuff for the last few years. But Yeah, that shocked me because I mean, it's not like that was even a rumor.
Hmm.
But I mean, I thought it was really cool that, just to actually have a cool Rumble surprise.
Yeah, a legit surprise.
Yeah, because there's always the leaks of, oh, this person's been seen in the town or whatever, and you're like, oh, well, they'll probably be in there, but
Hmm.
you heard nothing,
Yeah, and
and I love that.
yeah, and shout out to the RBR neighborhood. If you have access to our Patreon by going to patreon.com/RBR Wrestling, you get exclusive access to our Discord. And I remember for the Royal Rumble, we were doing voice chat. It was me, Eric, Brady, John, a couple other people, I think Psych. And, we were just going over the Rumble. And for me, who does watch TNA, not as frequently as everything else, but I mean, I'm keeping up with it and everything. When I heard the siren, I was like, wait a minute. Is that Big Papa Pump? I said, this is the women's match or whatever. Are they doing a goof now? I was like, wait a minute. It had like Jordan Grace. And I was like, no, this is fucking insane. And then honestly, what I kind of think, Mickey James set the template for this. She
Mhm.
showed up as the Knockouts World Champion in the Royal Rumble, 2 years prior?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be a blueprint, moving forward. I don't know if it's going to be every year, but
Right.
maybe every other year or something like that. Whoever happened to be the freaking Knockouts World Champion
Or just
might
somebody who's
pop up in
hot
the
at the
Rumble.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because Jordan Grace. See, we talked about this on RBR, and I talked with a couple other people, that I frequent the wrestling circles with and whatnot. I think this is low key contract tampering. It's just like, yeah, baby, come over and get a taste of the sweet life. See what we got to offer over here. When your contract up, maybe we can talk about it later.
Yeah. It's like, hey, look how good this catering is. Don't you want this?
Yeah, we got beluga caviar, baby. Come on, spread it on your crackers. Yeah, so like low key to me, that's like contract tampering or whatever. But yeah, it remains to be seen. You
Listen,
know,
listen, as long as they get paid, I don't care.
yeah, exactly. And then like TNA is in a state of flux right now with the release of Scott D'Amore and all kinds
Hmm.
of stuff. So I mean, we might see an exodus from there pretty soon. You had some people got contract extensions and re-signed, but still remains to be seen.
Yeah, that would not surprise me at all.
Mhm. But outside of the glorious and fantastic New Texas Pro, I mean, is there any other things you'd be watching? I know you into Stardom and all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
and
trying to dip my toe in there, but it's
it's
like it's all over the place for me.
it's an interesting thing with Stardom right now because they just had probably the biggest thing they've had happen in a few years with their the guy who started Stardom, the
Yes,
president, Ross Yagawa. He just left the company,
yeah,
or
and that's
I
around the time
le-
Scott D'Amore
le-
got released.
left, fired, whatever,
Mhm.
and he's going to start his own show apparently now. Uh, so I know in the next, if I remember correctly, the next couple months, few of those bigger contracts with Stardom are
Yeah,
up.
mhm,
So it's going to be interesting to see who stays and who doesn't,
yeah,
because that's
um,
going to be the biggest change in that company in a long time.
yeah. So like, what is it Julia? She's on the
Yeah,
way out,
Julia.
right?
Yeah, and apparently she has already committed to going over with him at least for the beginning. Because
Okay, get it
because she's
established.
yeah, because she's obviously had the rumor was she was going to WWE,
Hmm.
but it seems like she has enough of a loyalty to him where she wants to help him get started up first. Is what it seems like,
Hmm.
which will be in. I'm very curious to
I can
what.
respect that.
Yeah, and I'm very curious to what that company is going to look like versus what Stardom has looked like for the last few years, where
Mhm.
they've been even during the pandemic, they were basically the number two promotion in Japan
Mhm.
over even the men's promotions, like All Japan
Yeah.
and Noah and stuff. Like they did better business wise than anybody but New Japan.
Yeah, man, because everybody like women.
So yeah, that and also is some of the. I mean, legitimately, it's some of the best wrestling I've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I tried to dip my toe in there or whatever. I mean, it hadn't got a hold of me yet because it was the same way for me with New Japan. It took me a while to get acclimated to that system and how just different it is from what
Hmm.
I'm used to or whatever. And it's the same thing with Stardom or whatever. But like, I already got a few favorites. So I got freaking Julia. I like her.
Mhm.
Still American, but or Canadian, whatever the hell it is. Megan Bain. I
Yes.
like her. She's over there currently, but I mean, she's American or Canadian, whatever. I mean, I can never tell with them. It's like she's American. No, she's Canadian. It's whatever. North American. There you go.
Yeah, that'll work.
Um, and then you know the one I forget her name all the time, but you know the one I like, the one that tag team with Tanahashi from when
Oh,
they had that crossover show.
yes,
You
Utami.
oh my god, I love that lady. She has it. She has the swag,
Yes.
and I'm surprised. Is she injured or something?
Uh, I think I think she's on her way back from that
Yeah,
because they had a string of injuries at the end of the last year. That,
yeah. Because
but
like she should be like forefront of everybody news feed as far as professional wrestling
mhm,
goes. Because like she got it. She
yeah,
has it.
and she is very good friends with like the Io Shirai and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
as much as I hate to say it, I think whenever her next contract is up, she's going to be the next big free agent, and
Mhm.
I wouldn't shock me if
I
she ends up NXT bound.
I believe it. I can see it. I can see it just like the little bit of her that I seen, especially like during that crossover show with New Japan and everything. I was just like I was all in on her from the get go.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah, because there's just some people you can tell just have it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Hold on, she's got my head foggy just thinking about it. But yeah, and then what else? You talked about it just briefly just now about how they outperformed Noah and All Japan and even New Japan at some points and whatnot. With everything that's going on over there, there's been somewhat of an exodus from New Japan. You know, some of the
Hmm.
talent are leaving. Yeah, I mean, obviously Okada, you
Hmm.
know, and then Tamatonga is gone, and who
Yeah, but we
else?
just found out that he's officially going WWE.
Yeah, I mean that's the word on the street. Is that been confirmed yet?
According to Meltzer, it is.
Well, I mean that's take it for
Now
what you
listen,
will.
the last couple of weeks haven't been good for him. But yeah.
Oh no, oh no, and you know, and I kind of believe it in a way. The only reason I say that is because now Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson are suddenly on NXT.
Hmm.
So I'm putting it together. It's like, oh my god, are they gonna put him with those two? I
I
hope
mean,
not.
probably.
Yeah, I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope not. So, from what you know of New Japan, how long have you been following it?
Uh, I actually went back and looked this. I wanted to make sure. 2017 is when I first started watching.
All right. So, what Wrestle Kingdom was that?
That would be, let's see, we just
Because I got in on Wrestle Kingdom 9. I think that was
9.
Nakamura versus Tanahashi for the IC.
Not, that sounds right.
Because to follow that would be AJ and Nakamura, and right after that, those two left. Right. I'm guessing.
They both left at the same time. Would have been Wrestle Kingdom, but my first Wrestle Kingdom would have been 12 because I didn't start watching New Japan until right before Best of Super Juniors that year.
Okay.
So that it
Yeah.
would have been early summer because
And
I
so
that was
real quick before you finish your
yeah.
thought, anybody that's daggone listening and they're screaming at their podcasting device about, you know, if I'm wrong or right or whatever, I'm sorry. I'm not fact checking as we go. I'm just like, fuck it. It's in my brain that way, so that's how it's gonna come out. But what you were saying?
I was, 2017 was the year I was almost done with wrestling. Period. It
Oh
was
yeah, it seems like that's a thing from the
like
people I talk to.
it's pre AEW.
Hmm.
Uh, WWE is just not interesting to me anymore. Really,
Hmm.
like it was. I had to look back and see what was going on at that point, but it just wasn't. Uh, in fact, the thing that really cemented it for me is around that time. It might have been a little earlier. On RBR, Will was still on the show,
Yeah,
and he was talking about something. And he was just like something that he'd enjoyed, and he was just said, "This just isn't for me anymore."
yeah,
And I that just clicked in my head, and I was like, "I'm not really enjoying
Mm-hmm.
watching this every week. It's just not doing the things I want it to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the summer I think it was the summer before that Osprey Ricochet
Yeah.
match happened where it was just everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that and I was thinking, I've never looked at this before I'm done. Let me just see what this looks like just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
And it was that, and I watched that. It was right before Best Super Juniors. I started watching that, and it just hooked me because it was just something so different than what I'd watched for 20 something years. So I've
Mm-hmm.
been watching wrestling since 97, 98, like right around the
Yeah.
right before Attitude Era.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've never seen anything close to this before. This is it's just such a much more physical, fast paced
Yeah.
style. I was like, this is what I've been looking for forever,
Mm-hmm.
and it just hooked me from then, and it was just on from there.
Yeah. And like I subscribe to that same predicament that Will was in at the time or whatever. It's to where like it was a habit to me that
Mm-hmm.
I had to watch Monday Night Raw or whatever. I had to watch SmackDown every week. I had to do these things because it's what I've always done,
Yeah,
you know.
I didn't miss an episode for years just because that's what I did.
I mean, when I started to wean away from it or whatever, it was kind of weird because like my wife, for the life of us, I mean, we've been married damn near 16 years now. For the life of our relationship, she's known me to watch wrestling every week,
Mm-hmm.
all the time. And for her, she'd be like, "Oh, well, it's Monday. I know you're gonna be watching wrestling." Well, I was like, "Nah, let's go do something else." And she's like, "What? What the hell is going on? Are you okay?" Shit like that. And to where like even now, I know there's a change, going around, with the regime change and all the other stuff that's going on. So specifically, WWE is going through some changes right now, and it still isn't piquing my interest yet. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's things, on a smaller level that I tune in for, I key in for, because like anything with Chad Gable, I'm there for it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything with the Creed brothers, I'm there for it because that's some of the things that I've become attached to just through NXT and just the little bit of meat on the bone of storytelling that was given us, until
Right.
they start changing directions and whatnot. So I look for things within Raw rather than to sit there and watch all of Raw,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But it is what it is. SmackDown, yeah, it be what it be. I
Yeah.
catch it. I'll catch the cliff notes or whatnot. But I started really subscribing to. I'm just gonna watch what I like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sort out those things or whatever. New Japan was giving me joy. AEW started to come along, and that was great because I was legit seeing shit that I've never saw before. As far
Mm-hmm.
as talent wise, wrestling was always the same. It's just different Fortnite skins and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I was getting pure enjoyment out of the things. Now we're getting a little bit of the woes and the lows with AEW because you got it progressed faster than anybody anticipated it would.
Yeah.
A 4-year-old company, multiple TV deals, multiple shows already, to where like TNA was doing week to week pay-per-views at one point when they first
Mm-hmm.
started or whatever because they
Yeah.
couldn't
I remember that. Yeah.
they didn't have a TV deal and shit. And then when they had a TV deal, it was weird as fuck. So it's just like for that company to come so far so fast, it's just like they're growing. They're not outgrowing their growing pains yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And they were going to come eventually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
But I mean, it's not like it's bad. I mean,
mm-hmm.
it's still entertaining. It's just it's different than it was, and it's going to keep growing differently.
Yeah, but going back to like I was telling you, finding independent wrestling in 2014, it really opened my eyes. Then that's when the change started in me to kind of like look into things new and just kind of getting attached to these performers and whatnot. Because me watching Jordan Grace that day, and then now watching her here in 2024, I was like, yo, I was there on the ground floor more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Now no shit, Brian Keith. You know,
Mhm.
I get to see him here independently or whatever. You know, sit down with the man, talk with him, give him dap and shit. You know, have him on the podcast and just like see his progression as a performer, and then to see him get signed and be on TV and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, I'm searching for that high right there.
Right.
You know. Or even just like with New Japan, which we could probably just start going rolling into, like watching the young lions find themselves, you know,
Mhm.
go on excursion or come back from excursion and see the changes and stuff. I really and thoroughly enjoy that.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this New Japan Cup. So like I said, it's starting here in a couple days. I wouldn't say weeks. The earliest match that I'm looking at here on the freaking bracket is March 6th or whatever. So that's sometime next week.
Yep.
And I guess we go left side, right side, or whatever. So we got 4 buys in this, and I think they're all former New Japan Cup winners, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we got Sonata with a buy. We got Hiroki Goto with a buy. We got Zack Sabre Jr. with a buy, and we got Evil with a buy. I was thinking about Merman. What is that? SpongeBob?
You got me. I was not a SpongeBob guy.
Oh yeah, with the fucking the fake Aquaman that they had on there, Merman or whatever the fuck. Anyway, Evil. YouTube it. So first match, I guess we go left side first. We got Yoshihashi versus Kenta.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give you mine because I know you already got yours scouted out, and you already did your analysis and everything.
Yeah. What do we got?
I'm looking at this, and it would be a no-brainer for me to say Kenta, but I'm gonna go against my intuition and I'm gonna pick Yoshihashi. And the reason I say this is because years ago, I would say he is shit. I still don't like him per se, but he has evolved somewhat and whatnot. And I mean, he has achieved championship gold, being tag and all. I think even the trios as well, right?
Yes.
So it's like since those milestones in his career that I got to watch or whatnot, his character arc is hit a different trajectory or whatever, and it's making him somewhat more of a better competitor and, you know, a viable opponent. So on the other end of the spectrum, I'm looking at Kenta, badass, you know, always has been, but he has been in a lull and he's kind of like been regressing and everything. It's almost kind of like I equated to Kota Ibushi, you know, top of the game, top of the crop or whatever. And then all of a sudden this motherfucker just did a 180 and start going the other way. And I'm like,
well, I mean, basically it's that I don't know if you remember that Texas death match he had with Tanahashi, where they both just beat the hell out of each other, and then were both out for 6 months because they broke everything.
yeah.
And neither of them have been the same since.
Oh yeah, especially Tanahashi. But like even before then, you remember when Ibushi fucking took that freaking header on the side of the apron and his shit turned into a V?
Yeah, the Naito match. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like
those are 2 guys I never need to see wrestle again because neither of them say no to anything.
yeah, especially like Coda, man. It's just like I remember wild ass non-wrestling but wrestling clips of him shooting himself in the chest with Roman candles and shit and just being a weirdo or whatever. But yeah, like I said, against my intuition, I'm gonna go Yoshihashi this one.
Not a chance in hell. Not a chance in hell.
I know, no, but I was just I want to be weird. I just want to be weird.
This might be a spoiler for pick a little bit. They just put the tag belts.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that.
And I can't imagine him immediately losing, especially not to. And like Yoshihashi, right? He's improved a lot in the last couple of years. Because like I used to just call him a walking bag of socks. He was just uninteresting.
you know who's taking that moniker over now, right? I mean, is yet to be seen because I think he might be off for a while. But Master Wato.
Yeah. That would suck because I liked him a lot as a young lion, but he is.
He was that Young Lion class was so fucking good. It was him, Great O'Khan, and it was that dude, the big muscle dude, Kitamura.
Kitamura, yes.
Yeah, but that dude, unfortunately, that dude passed away, man.
Yeah.
Sad. I had high hopes for Kitamura, but I think he got an injury, then he just wind up separating himself from professional wrestling and get back into bodybuilding and shit.
Yeah.
But man, I love that. Was like, I think that was the most intently that I monitored the Young Lions ever since. Just those three individuals in that class, and like, I'm happy with Great O'Khan. I mean, I believe they could have done more with him, especially when he made his return and he went right after fucking Okada, right? Or was it Naito?
I think it was Naito. I think so.
Yeah, and I was just like, this is my guy. And he went to Europe, was undefeated for however long and shit.
And I don't know if you remember, like when he debuted over in Rev Pro in UK, that gimmick did not seem like it was going to work at all.
No,
it was weird, and they just threw him in something completely different, but he kind of flourished under it. Unlike, like you said, unlike Wato, who just hasn't.
It was doomed from the start. Yeah. Because like, to me, when I think about Japan and just that culture or what it is or whatnot, the limited bit that I know of it through media and movies and film and stuff, for that, just in general, just for that young man to have a character or a persona of Grandmaster doesn't make no fucking sense to me.
Because that's something you earn over there, and they're very big on earning your spot there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like so much that they called him a Grandmaster or whatever, because like his whole thing was like, it was the way to the Grandmaster.
Yes.
And it was just like, I don't see him achieving that status whatsoever. Very unbelievable. Just
not with that gimmick.
No, I don't like it whatsoever.
It's not like he's not talented. We've seen him be talented.
Oh yes.
I mean, they gave him the best of Super Juniors last year,
and I thought that was weird as fuck. But
I was like, well, maybe they know something we don't, and he figured it out, and he did not.
And that's another thing too. They gave him the best of Super Juniors, and then when they did the first All-Star Super Junior joint, he wind up winning. They did like a tournament or whatever. He wind up winning that tournament shit too. So I'm just like,
I mean, they were giving him every chance to figure it out, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, it's not clicking. But I think he might have been out with it. He might be out with an injury or something.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. But he's out for a little bit.
But like, while this motherfucker is out, he needs to soul search, reevaluate, and come back strong. Yes. He probably need to just like get rid of the blue shit, rip off that fucking weird shit that he just complete character change.
First night back, beat the hell out of Taguchi. There you go. Just straight heel turn, just completely different.
Okay, I'm down with that. So you got Kenta. All right.
Yes.
So right under that, we got Shota Umina, who I thoroughly enjoy, against the debut of the scapegoat, Jack Perry.
Yeah.
I'm interested in how this is going to turn out or whatever, because I've known Jungle Boy from nothing else other than AEW. I mean, I've seen a small little slither of his independent stuff, but all I know is of AEW. And I want to see what this looks like in a New Japan ring or whatever, which I'm excited to see, because like, I didn't watch the show with Riddle and Ziggler yet, but like, just to see those pieces on another board is just amazing to me. I love that shit.
Yeah, I just finished that show earlier today, and it's interesting.
Interesting. Okay. All right. I don't like your vote of confidence there. But all right.
It's not that it's bad. It's something that you're going to have to get used to a little bit, because it just looks weird.
Yeah, just aesthetically and like stylistic wise, probably, right? Yeah, because Matt Riddle, I mean, he's been to Japan. He's done tours overseas and stuff already, but like, I missed out on all that. So all I know is WWE Matt Riddle and shit, and NXT Matt Riddle. So it's going to take, like you said, it's going to take some getting used to. But anyway, out of Shota and Jack Perry, for me, I'm not going to even think about it too hard or whatever. I'm probably going to go with Jack Perry.
Yeah.
just because this is his debut or whatever. I mean, he got somewhat of a buzz around him, and Shota gonna be all right. He'll be there for the long haul.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you'd bring him over just to have him lose in the first round. I think he goes over there.
From what you know, because like I haven't did a deep dive on any of this stuff yet. Are they gonna do any of the matches in the States, or is it just strictly?
No, it's all in the U.S. or all in Japan.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Jack Perry. I'm gonna write that down right now. So lay it on me. What you got, my bro?
I'm going Jack Perry. I have no doubt about it. I think it's going to be interesting where I think he goes next after this.
Yeah. So let's see. I mean, with the bracket, that would put me with Yoshihashi versus Jack Perry in the next round, right?
And then I've got Kenta Jack Perry in the next round.
So all right, look at that. See, I mean, with my pick the way it go or whatever, it carves out a path for Jack Perry to move deep into the bracket or whatever. So when I look at that,
I'm sorry, no, it's Sonata and Kenta in the next round, and Jack Perry in the winner.
Okay, yeah,
round.
all right, yeah, because of the bye. You're right. You're right.
Yes.
So let me.
We got Sonata and Kenta.
All right, Sonata and Kenta. Let me. Well, no, you got Sonata and Kenta. I got Sonata.
You got Sonata and Yoshihashi.
Yoshihashi.
Yes.
That sounds funny. Sonata, Yoshihashi. Let me fix my bracket, and then that would give you Kenta and Jack Perry, right?
No, Kenta, Sonata, and then Jack Perry, and then we got one more for that.
Oh, we still got. Let me go down. I'm thinking too fast. I'm going too fast. All right.
We still got Toru Yano and Yujiro Takahashi.
I don't like how that sounds.
That is one of those matches that
it's gonna be shenanigans galore.
Oh yeah, it'll be 5 minutes of shenanigans that you can skip to the end of, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, you're gonna go in the corner. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Yano.
I'm the same way. Yano wins there, mostly because you need a face for Jack Perry right there.
Yeah, and then you're right. I can see that because the only way I see Yujiro winning, House of Torture shit.
I'm so tired of House of Torture shit.
I am tired of that whole Bullet Club dynamic right now, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Next we got TJP versus David Finlay to speak of Bullet Club. So the consensus here is that David Finlay is going to take this cup. It's just like, I mean, it's just been going around the net. It's just the scuttlebutt, the people the people talking or whatever. It's not coming from a credible source or whatever. It's just wrestling fans talking about it.
Yeah, and even I was going to say Chris Samsa is running a big pick'em tournament over on Twitter, and he's got all the stats and everything already of who's picked who, and right now Finley's either one or two, basically everybody's pick right now.
Yeah, so I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Well, if you remember when I messaged you earlier, I said I'm not too happy with how I picked this bracket, so that might be a spoiler for what's to come.
Yeah, so let's drill down on David Finlay real quick.
Yeah.
Before I give my pick, what do you think of him as an overall performer, and then how do you feel about him as he is? With the change in character and whatnot.
He's not a bad wrestler. Like I've seen him have good matches.
Yeah.
I don't buy him. I don't care. I don't buy him as a top guy. Like him as like a number two guy. I could buy that. Like a it's not the Continental title anyway. It's a global title. I can buy him at like a number two level, but as a leader of a faction that's had 4 of the top names ever as the leader, that it's him.
So that's the thing for me with David Finlay. Like you said, I wholeheartedly agree with you. He is competent in the ring, but I don't believe him to be the leader. I don't believe him to be the head of this company that we call Bullet Club. You know, and it's just like he has some good pieces around him. I believe freaking Driller over him. I believe Coughlin over him.
I'm a big Gabe Kidd guy. I think Gabe Kidd.
Yeah, that kind of grew on me. I didn't like it at first, but like
I'm the same
I've
way.
come around.
Yes.
Yeah, Gabe Kidd and just him talking shit constantly. I mean, I believe it. I see it in him more than I see it in Finlay.
He feels more Bullet Club than Finlay does.
Yes, to where like they just slapped Sharpie in his hair and beard, and then
it's like, hey, we lost Jay White. Can you do this for us?
We lost Jay White, and you're white enough.
I hate to make this comparison. He's the fake Diesel version of Jay White. He's Glenn Jacobs to Kevin Nash.
Dog, at a time, I would have believed El Phantasmo more than that motherfucker. And he's just a goof all the time, you know? But he doesn't, the bad guy, the tough guy, he doesn't do it for me in that arena or whatnot. I mean, babyface, fighting from underneath, I like it.
Yeah, because he had a couple of like great matches against Jay White when he was a babyface, and I was like, okay, maybe there's something there. But as a heel and a leader with that, it just doesn't work for me.
Do you think Bullet Club needs to be disbanded as a whole, not just House of Torture, not just the War Dogs or whatever the fuck? I mean, like just as everything. A whole, everything. Just throw it in the trash, get rid of it.
I mean, in theory, yes, but also, and this is the thing with New Japan: if you're selling merchandise, they're not going to get rid of you. And I mean, how still you people buy Bullet Club stuff because it's still Bullet Club. So I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, let me give you a side real quick. So one of my friends from Seattle came to Houston a couple of days ago. We all met up and everything. We met his significant other for the first time. And she, as a gift to us, she gave me like a whole rack of hats, caps and shit for NWA, Bullet Club, and just a whole bunch of different wrestling shit. I was like, oh, that's great. I appreciate it. One of the hats was a Bullet Club hat. Then young child, she kind of thumbed through the hat. She's like, I want the Bullet Club hat. And I was like, no. Because like to me, in my mind, in that second, her saying that is just like, you can't wear that to school because Bullet Club in a school. No, we can't do this. I can't set you up for that. But yeah, back to this bracket. TJP versus David Finlay. Given everything that we just said, I'm going to pick David Finlay against my better judgment.
Yeah. And like, I like TJP as a performer, not the biggest fan of him as people, but as a performer, he's really good. It seems like I don't know what they're doing with United Empire. It seems like he's trying to make his case to be the leader there now that Ospreay's gone, but I don't see that being enough to get past Finlay right now.
Yeah, and then like he just kind of what show was that? He debuted that Ashwan character.
Yeah, that thing.
The Filipino monster.
Yeah, that's
I thought it was pretty cool.
Man, listen, it's a choice. It is a choice.
I mean, I mean, tribute to your culture. I mean, that's cool, but like I like it, but it's I don't know.
I think it needed, and I hate to say this because everybody online is always, how come you didn't explain the thing to me before it happened? Which always irritates me. I'm like, but also, maybe that one needed a little explaining before you just threw it out there.
I mean, it was like for real, out of nowhere. Yeah, at least to me anyway, because like I don't have like a constant relationship with the New Japan product or whatever. So for me to pop in on that show, and just wait a minute, what the fuck? But yeah, David Finlay is gonna take this one.
Yeah.
All right, next we got Tongaloa versus Great O'Khan. I have no reason to pick Tongaloa.
No.
Not whatsoever. I mean, he came back from that knee injury or whatever, and now his brother is gone, and his little brother or cousin or whatever is half of the strong and heavyweight tag title champions or whatever. So Great O'Khan.
I'm the same way. Yeah, I feel like Tonga. I was talking about somebody over in the RBR neighborhood about this earlier. I feel like Tongaloa and Hikuleo are probably gone when their contracts are up too.
Yeah,
like I just don't. I don't know where they fit in New Japan right now.
I don't know. Yeah, because especially Hikuleo, man, it's just like I don't know where he fit in. Period.
Because he's gotten a lot better, and we'll talk about him in just a bit. But I don't. He's not going to get a higher ceiling than the new young guys right now. And
they are poised. They are poised to rebuild themselves with the young guys that they have now. Even a few of the young lions that I've seen just go out on excursion or whatever. I believe they have some high potential coming back.
Yeah,
and everything. But like, I don't know. Those two probably follow their brother.
Yep, I think so too. But so yeah, Great O'Khan goes over next.
Yeah. Next, we got Tomohiro Ishii versus Chase Owens.
Oh, I've been so waiting for this one.
I am nervous. I am trembling. To go back to your top pick with Kenta or whatever. I mean, Chase Owens is now half of the IWGP heavyweight champions. So
I'm going to tell you right now, you don't need to be nervous. You just need to accept what's about to happen.
That Chase is going to win?
Chase Owens is winning.
I don't want that.
Do you know what happened last time Chase Owens was in a big New Japan Cup match? It was Tanahashi. Chase Owens pinned Tanahashi.
Yeah, I remember that. And that was fucking.
How many people have just straight pinned Tanahashi?
Like
one
straight
of them,
up.
Chase Owens.
I don't
straight
get
in the middle of the ring.
But like, from what I understand, he's just like cool with everybody or whatever. He's just like, because realistically, looking at this bracket here and just New Japan as a whole over the years, he is a legit mainstay on that roster.
Yeah, he's been there forever, and he just does whatever they want him to do.
Yeah, so throw him a bone every now and then, right?
So once a year, they throw him a big New Japan Cup win over somebody. You're like, he has no business beating them.
Yeah. They ain't doing shit with Ishii either, man.
I mean, listen, as much as I love him, I love Ishii. He's been one of my favorites since I started watching.
Yes.
They're never going to put him over that hump, especially not now.
He in the same boat with Minoru, and tell him because he's on the way out as well. Yeah. Sad state of affairs. Do I really want to pick Chase Owens? Do I really want to write his name down on the sheet?
No, of course you don't want to, but sometimes you just have to accept the way things are.
Nah, fuck that. I'm bucking the system. I'm putting Ishii down, God damn it.
Oh,
I believe in my heart that he can do it.
I hate that you're going to be so disappointed.
Hey, man, and we got to keep it random. I mean, we can't always agree. We always can't agree. All right, so then I'm put Goto here with the bye.
Yes.
All right, so we got that bracket busted down. So advancing forward with my picks, it'll be Sonata versus Yoshihashi. It would be Jack Perry versus who did I pick? Yano. Then it'll be David Finlay versus Great O'Khan. And then we will have Tomohiro Ishii over Chase Owens going up against Hiroki Goto in the next round. All right, man. This is where it's going to start getting interesting. Let's get to this right side of this bracket here.
All right.
So we're going to put Evo up at the top. He has a bye. And then now we got Hikuleo versus how do you even say that name?
Bolton Oleg.
Which one is that? Is it the white guy,
Yeah,
Australian or whatever?
big
giant
hulky
dude. Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's interesting that he's the only young lion in the tournament.
True. And now, I mean, and that's telling or whatever. They might have some high hopes for him, or they
I mean,
see something.
they seem to like him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you know what I appreciate of this current iteration of the new, like it started with COVID or whatever. So we got a unique ass young lion class, because that's when we started seeing Coughlin and freaking Gabe Kidd and what's the guy with the long hair do the gore, the spear,
Clark
Connors and everything, and goddamn, he Eddie Thorpe now, but what was his New Japan name? Franklin, Frank, something like that. But Eddie Thorpe now.
Yeah.
He was in that group and everything. And then, COVID happened and those guys was stuck in the LA dojo in the States. And then, we got the adaptation of New Japan Strong because they was stuck in the States. They had to start doing shows and everything. And that's when you would get motherfucking Kevin Knight and a couple other people that escape me right now. But it was an interesting group of people here. And like, I'm looking at this list. Where they at though?
Yeah.
You got Gabe Kidd in there. And that's about it. I mean, Shota was there too. But like he was still in Japan and he was under Mox's wing, which I thought was very fucking cool. And if you notice that by Mox doing that, he set a precedent.
Yes.
For stuff like that, for factions to recruit their young lions right out the gate or whatever.
Because they weren't letting them get anywhere near it before.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, they wouldn't.
The closest they got is Suzuki beating the shit out of him on the way to the ring.
Or Lance Archer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really like that they're pretty much recruiting, they scouting for the factions, their fight camps is what I like to call them or whatnot. And I think Vegeta, he has tremendous upside or whatever. I like him a lot. And I want to see him go deep into the Super Juniors if they put him in there. But anyway, Hikuleo and Oleg. I'm gonna go with Hikuleo.
Yeah, they just don't have young lions win.
No,
it's just not what they do.
I
can't
recall.
Yeah, now it'll be an interesting 5-6 minute match with them just doing
two big guy motherfuckers.
Stuff.
Yeah, that's gonna be weird. But just to roll on down, Shingo Takagi versus Yuya Uemura.
I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, I watched Yuya exclusively in TNA, and I can't even really recall a lot of his Young Lion stuff or whatever. I remember seeing him and I was like, is that Shota? No, that's the other one. Okay.
Yeah, he was kind of like the end of that class of Young Lions.
But to see him in New Japan, I mean not New Japan, TNA or whatever, I wasn't really wild about him. But like toward the end, he found some personality and character and whatnot, and then he was gone.
Yeah.
He came back, and then now he's looking better than what he was when he was in the States. I give him that. And I feel like they got a little more, he has a little more confidence in himself. I see him perform here versus what I saw of him in TNA, and this is a totally different person from there.
Yeah.
But I think Shingo gonna beat the young boy ass.
Oh, definitely. But I think it's gonna be one of those that, anytime anybody's in the ring with Shingo, he makes him look like $1 million no matter what, because he's just that good. So he's gonna get the best out of Uemura. I think it'll probably be one of the best matches of the first round. But Shingo's obviously winning this.
Yeah. All right. So next we got another young lion, right? Newman.
Kind of.
Wait, hold on. So is he the one they pulled into the United Empire?
Yes. So he's basically their young lion, but he's not really.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because he was a replacement. Ospreay recruited him and brought him in.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I've only seen a tiny sliver of him as well, but I know who
Mhm.
he is. And seeing that he going up against Gabe Kidd,
Hmm.
I'm gonna give the edge to Kidd.
Yeah, I
I
am
mean,
too.
I wouldn't be shocked if Newman pulled one out, but I'm still gonna give it to Kidd.
I would be shocked just because uh, I think there's a lot of people that are really high on Gabe Kidd right now.
I think it's just he made himself a spectacle or
Mhm.
whatever. You know, he all right in the ring, but it's just like his demeanor, his intensity
Yeah,
is I think what people are drawn
and
to.
that's one of the things that a lot of people have been critical about a lot of the young lions with is they don't necessarily have that intense thing,
Mhm,
and Kid does, and I think that's going to help him a lot
mhm.
overall.
Word. Nah, I ain't even got a daggone the next one.
Oh,
Yoda Suji
I already know where you're
versus
going with
Jeff
this.
Cobb. You
Yep,
already know. I'm gonna
yep.
just write it down. Go ahead, put Yoda Suji down real
Hmm.
quick.
That is your guy.
That
And
is my dude, man.
your was that your
My 2023 pick of the year.
yeah, yeah, that I thought it was, yeah.
Yeah, that's my goodness, man. This dude came on the scene, and first of all, I saw him as a young lion,
Hmm.
and then when he came back, I was like, "That's not the same motherfucker. That is not him."
That's
Because
like
when,
twice the size of the guy I remember.
yeah, I mean, even Great O'Khan, when he was a young lion, he was a pudgy fat fuck boy,
Uh-huh. Yep.
and then you could just on his way before he went to excursion, you seen him start to lean down or
Hmm.
whatever, but like to see him return is just like that's not the same motherfucker, man.
Hmm.
And that's the same thing with Yoda Suji. He was a chubby, pudgy guy or whatever. And you know what else blows my mind about him? He has a fucking identical twin.
Yes.
That blows my fucking mind, dog. And man, he has it.
Hmm.
He has it in spades. He has it over goddamn Yu Yamura. He has it over Shota. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say. I think that's two different categories with him and
Yeah,
Shota.
yeah. I was gonna say I feel like they're about the same level. They're just very different
Yeah.
versions of that level.
Hmm. Yeah, it is just like head and shoulders. This dude can be world champ in an instant. I can see it. I feel that way about him. But anyway. Yoda Suji, Jeff Cobb,
Yeah,
Yoda
we're
Suji for my pick.
that's gonna be another just two big dudes just beating the hell out of each other
Yeah,
match.
because I don't think they've had a one-on-one match yet, right?
I
They
don't
might have
think
had some tag
I
stuff,
don't
but
think so. Yeah,
oh, this is gonna be good. I'm
yeah.
March 10th, people mark your calendars. I want to
Mhm.
see that shit.
Yep, and I'm in agreement. Yoda Suchi with the win on that one.
Word. Next, we got El Phantasmo versus Mikey Nichols. Um,
This is one I'm a little disappointed with
yeah.
because I'd have rather if it was going to be one of the TMDK guys, I'd have preferred
Shane
Shane
Hayes.
Hayes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I think he's the more interesting wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, Mikey Nichols is fine. He just
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have that
He's bland
other.
as fuck.
Yeah, he just doesn't. He's not as interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I just put ELP down.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, who is interesting though? ELP.
Yes. Oh man. It is sad or whatever, because like they came to the States or whatever. I mean, that wasn't that their name in NXT as well, TMDK or something like that.
Uh,
It was
they,
it was the Mighty Don't Kneel, but it was like
they were just the mighty. That's what it
yeah,
was.
okay. The Mighty 82 or some shit. It was
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know they
something
had
like that.
numbers or something behind it or whatever.
It was like TM81 or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
But like they did all right as a tag team.
Hmm.
And I think that's what it is. I mean, Mikey Nichols is all right as a tag team competitor,
Yeah,
but like just him alone, nah, fam.
yeah. Like I'm sure it'll be fine, but yeah, ELP wins that. I think easy.
Yeah. Next, we got Tai Chi versus Ren Narita. Ooh, I don't
Uh,
know
uh,
about this one, man.
uh,
This is gonna be some hard shit here. Because Ren Narita, I mean, look at it, man. We got Shota,
mhm.
Yoda Suji, Ren Narita. They already dubbed them the Three Musketeers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, when I read their names, I'm just like, I feel that shit, but Taiji, I don't know why I said it like that, but like, I feel like he's been making somewhat of a resurgence as a wrestler.
Yeah, because he had a really good run, and then I felt over the last year or so, it's been kind of very middling. Like the thing I remember the most from when I was studying that first year, I watched Best Super Juniors. It was Taichi and Taka Michinoku, and they're both in Suzuki-gun.
Yeah.
So they're this it's probably the thing I remember most from that entire tournament. And in this tournament, Best Super Juniors, it's the high flying and the big spectacles and stuff. The match I remember most is Taka and Taichi, and for 12 straight minutes, they don't touch at all. They're just finding different ways to avoid each other and try and cheat each other out of a win.
Yeah.
And it's like some of the best storytelling I've ever seen. And they don't touch until like 13th minute of the match. And then it's just a kick to the balls. The ref doesn't see 1, 2, 3. And that's the entire match. I'm like, I was like, that dude can tell a story. And I was in on Taichi since then.
Yeah.
And then he's gotten so much better, especially since he went up to heavyweight.
Yeah. So that's when like the tide turned for me with him, when he made the change in class. And also to me, like, what was it? It was, I think it might have been a G1 or whatever. He got real deep into it or whatever, and he was just putting out banger performances. And then he just started taking this role of like the motivator of other people who he saw potential in. Like he was like a catalyst for the change in Sonata. And then like it seems like he's doing that now with the Just Five Guys or whatever. It's debatable about the people in that group or whatever. But like he used what he gained in popularity and status to bring up other people and motivate other people or whatnot. Because that's kind of been a staple of some of the matches that he's had, to where like if he saw something or you want to push somebody, he would talk mad shit to them and, fire them up or whatever.
Yeah, he had that series of matches with Shingo, and it was kind of what pushed Shingo up to where he could be that world champion. It's like, he just had these crazy great matches with, Taichi and Ishii and all those guys. And it's like, okay, this, and I wouldn't have been mad at Taichi getting that spot at that point.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like you have these pieces here, and we just talked about their role in this company and how pivotal of a piece they are, or whatever. But they don't get the glory,
But also, you need those guys. That's what Ishii was for a few years. He's the guy you get past to get to the top.
Yeah,
and I think that's a really good spot for Taichi, because he can be a threat. And he's a really good guy to get you to that next level.
Yeah. But Taichi and Ren Narita, I think it's going to be more of the same. He's going to use that to motivate Ren Narita to be better, to elevate his game, to fight harder and whatnot.
Yeah,
and even in loss, he's still going to look good. So I'm going with Ren Narita.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with Ren Narita.
Okay. See, I'm going Taichi. I think Narita comes out looking really well, and it's a really good push for Narita. But I especially because the match we get next, I think is really interesting. I got to go with Taichi.
Oh yeah, the Dangerous Techers. You're right.
I think that's a match that
you think that would be a better story, right? Yeah,
I do. I think that's one of the big reasons why I'm pushing Taichi.
Okay. Yeah, and then like, I think at this point, these younger guys, they need to start making statement victories or whatnot, and that's the only reason I'm kind of going with Ren Narita. But we got Zack Sabre Jr. in the bye. So for the right bracket, with my picks, I'm gonna have Evil versus Hikuleo in the next round. Then I'm gonna have Shingo versus Kid, right? And that's gonna be a hell of a match if that happens.
Yes, it is.
Then I will have Yoda versus ELP. That's gonna be batshit crazy, I believe. And then to round it out on the bottom, Ren Narita versus Zack Sabre Jr. And then like even Ren Narita versus Zack Sabre Jr. If that happens, I mean, that's a proven ground even more for Ren Narita or whatever. You know, he can look good in defeat in that part or whatever. So yeah, that's what I got on my side. So what you got?
We're all the same except for Taichi and Narita.
Okay. All right. So looking at this thing, I think we're missing out with not having Desperado in this.
Listen, I don't know what they're doing with Desperado.
You know,
I
so
mean,
Desperado, Zack Sabre Jr., and you know, I think those two names, you know, despite what we was just kind of inkling at with David Finlay or whatever, and this fuck that guy, but Zack Sabre Jr. and who's the other guy said?
El Desperado.
El Desperado. Bona fide contenders in my heart, and just performance wise, to be world heavyweight champion.
I mean, there's been a lot of people that have been saying move up Desperado and Hiromu to heavyweight.
And matter of fact, don't they have Hiromu fighting Naito?
Nope.
Or
that was what people were hoping for. At the anniversary show, it's heavyweight champ versus junior champ.
Yeah, and that's Desperado. Yeah.
No, it's not.
Well, he lost the belt?
Yes, he did.
Oh, I missed that. Who he lost it to?
He dropped it to Show.
Oh no.
Oh, and
well, you know what? You know what? I'm not feeling bad about that.
You're going to.
But no, but hear me out though. Before this stupid ass House of Torture shit, I thought Show was another one.
Yes.
That could have ascended to that next level and just been like a pillar in this company or whatever for the next generation. But this House of Torture shit,
it's hurt all of them.
Yeah.
It hasn't helped a single person.
Yeah.
Except for maybe their paychecks, maybe. That's about the only thing that they
yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Look at the fall from grace for Evil.
Here's okay. Evil. I mean, we'll get back to him. But when they put the belt on him, I guess they just thought we have to do something to try something because it was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I guess they just thought, let's do something shocking that nobody's going to expect. And maybe this will work. And they've been kind of pigeonholed ever since, and that this guy's a former champ, so we can't just job him out or send him back into the tag team. But also, this guy sucks in this gimmick. Because I've seen great Evil matches. That dude can work.
Yes.
But every time he has a good match, I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop of somebody to bring in a wrench and hit somebody with it and just ruin the whole damn thing. But it happened to Show too. He can have great matches. Like you said, I also thought he was the guy who's going to go on to great things. And you know, you haven't seen the match yet, but it's not going to hurt your watching of it. He beats Despy by count out.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So we went from after Wrestle Kingdom, the anniversary show was going to be Naito versus Hiromu.
My God.
And then Despy beats Hiromu. So then we'll get Naito Despy. That'll be a great match. Now we're going to get Naito versus Show. And it's not now it's Naito versus a House of Torture guy again. And I don't want to see that anymore. Like I don't think Naito's long for this belt. And I don't think
Naito is long for this world.
That may also be true because he is falling apart.
Him and freaking Tanahashi. I mean, I'm not talking about like death or whatever. I'm talking about like the world of professional wrestling.
Yes. But I hate wasting what time we've got with him on that when we could have had, you know, like the Hiromu Naito match, something people wanted to see for years.
And then like we got a little bit of taste of it when like Evil first initially made that turn and
Mhm,
Hiromu went after Evil and they had the
mhm,
fucking title match and shit. That
mhm,
was fucking wild. I was like,
mhm.
whoa, it's a junior heavyweight and a heavyweight.
Yeah, it was like, okay, this is where he proves he could do it, and they've just never pulled the trigger since. But
Yeah.
but also until now, they really haven't had the junior to step up, and like it was Despy,
Mm-hmm.
but now it's not.
Yeah. And then, like when you do things like that, I mean, I kind of feel like maybe they pulled it off of Desperado because of what we were just talking about. They might be moving
Maybe.
him up.
I mean,
And then he'll get that match regardless as a heavyweight,
yeah,
you
I mean,
know?
if that's the reason, I can probably live with it. But if
Mhm,
it's just we decided to go this different way, and we're still not going to pull the trigger, I don't get it.
mhm. I mean, it's that the glorious phrase in professional wrestling. This is like gotta let it play out.
Yeah.
Oh man, oh man, fucking show. But like I said that there's audio documentation on some podcast somewhere or
Mhm,
many different podcasts of me saying that if there was ever a junior heavyweight at the time with the crop that we had, if there was ever a junior heavyweight to ascend to be world heavyweight champion, I said Hiromu and
mhm,
Sho.
mhm,
That's what I said at the time. I still kind of believe that, especially Hiromu. But
mhm,
Sho, as is, not so
mhm.
much.
No, and it's not, especially because like Hiromu would be an undersized heavyweight,
Mhm,
but also he's not that much smaller than like Ishii, and Ishii was a junior when he first started.
mhm,
So I mean, it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility at all.
mhm. And but like Desperado, he needs to. I believe he is exhausted. Same with Hiromu. I mean, he has done everything that they can do in the junior division.
Yeah.
You know, the only other way they can go besides heavyweight is fucking tag teams. And I think Desperado out of the two, him and Hiromu, he's exhausted all his means and
Yeah, yeah,
that shit too.
yeah. And we've seen Hiromu and Bushi already. We don't really need to go back to that.
Mm-mm. Yeah, they need to go upward and onward.
Hmm.
You know, yeah. I mean, that's the bracket, man. I mean, with all the new pieces and everything. So which one comes first? Is we got the cup, and then the winner of the cup gets a title opportunity at when
Sakura Genesis right after.
at
I,
Sega
I, I,
Genesis. All right.
yeah, that's like 10 days after the cup ends. Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there we go Super Junior.
No, from there I think, let's see, it goes. Actually, I had it pulled up. I can tell you exactly.
Don't say tag league because I hate that shit.
No, we don't get tag league for a while. Here it is. Cup, Sakura Genesis, and then Windy City Right in Chicago is at
Oh
the end of
yeah.
next month.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah. So all the people who had match obligations, they already done, right? So Okada is done
Yeah,
and
Okada, Osprey, Tom. Yeah, they're all done.
yeah,
Yeah,
are all done. Okay. Yep. So Windy City Ride is going to be a hoot.
and they just announced. Speaking, we were talking Stardom earlier. They just announced a couple Stardom people are going to be at that show.
Yeah, yeah, this is true. So now with the title changes, from this last show or whatever, it makes sense to me because of the Windy City shit. You
Hmm.
know, we put some familiar faces in the title picture or whatever to bring back to the States and
Hmm.
whatnot. And then who's to say if they're going to even hold on to the title once they do that? It's just like, we just want to have somebody that you're familiar with here
Hmm.
or whatever. But yeah, I mean, what's the card looking like for that? You got that pulled up?
Yeah, I can pull it up right here. I just got it right. See, Windy City Riot.
We gonna start a riot.
Yeah, we got Moxley Naito is the main,
Ooh.
which is we'll
I
see if
mean, I'm
that
surprised Mox didn't get the title.
I don't. I know there's a lot of people saying maybe you should put the title on Mox,
Mhm.
but if he's only going to be there every couple months,
Yeah, and that's why I feel like, like with the global title or whatever, I see why he lost that. I see
hmm
why Osprey lost that because he on the
yeah,
way out. I see why Mox lost because he's not going to be there all the time. You
Mhm.
know.
Like I think that worked a little bit, during the pandemic a little bit when they had the US title and stuff floating around and he's over here and then over there every couple months because
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot of movement anywhere.
Hmm.
But now I just don't think it makes a lot of business sense to do that.
Yeah, especially it won't be getting its just due
Hmm.
because he's going to be predominantly on AEW television,
Yes.
and I doubt if they let him parade that shit around.
Now, like if like I don't I mean we're still a few months out of if it was like a month to Forbidden Door, then he dropped it back at Forbidden Door or
Now,
something.
yeah, I like that.
You could convince me of that, but I mean we're months away from that still, so I don't see that happening.
True, true, true.
The other big match on that card is Hiromu and Mustafa Ali,
Ah, yes, I forgot about that. That's
and
gonna be fucking.
that's gonna
Whew.
be crazy.
So yeah, man, I got I thoughts on Ali, but you got any other stuff for the card?
The only other thing announced officially is a tornado, 8-man tornado tag, and it's Eddie Kingston and uh, Gabe Kidd against each other. They're both picking teams that,
Oh, teams. Okay.
yeah, that aren't revealed until the show. Apparently,
Ooh, that could be interesting. I
I mean, I
mean,
assume Kidd brings Bullet Club guys, but
yeah, that would make sense. Um, so Mustafa Ali, did you watch the TNA show?
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I tried to watch some of it. I think I hadn't even. The opener was the tag match, and I didn't get past that. Um, I'm liking the direction TNA is going, but it's
Mhm.
still in a state of flux because of Scott Demore
Mhm.
leaving and just the state of the talent there because of that or whatever. So there's still, I think, with this last pay per view, No Surrender, it ends their string of recorded television or whatever because
Mhm.
up until No Surrender, Trinity was still on their television wrestling.
Right.
So I think that ends their cycle of taping, and everything from No Surrender moving forward should be new, or a new set of taping at least. So I'm interested to see how that affects the roster going forward.
Mhm.
But Mustafa Ali is now the X Division champion. He beat out Chris Sabin and everything, which is just wild to think that Ali, Ziggler, and Riddle already out there in the world, already champions.
Yeah, two out of three is not bad.
So who's the two?
But Ali and Ziggler, that
Oh, you
I'm
don't
fine.
you don't like the Riddle Master?
No, listen. Can he wrestle? Sure. Do I want to root for the guy? Not really.
Yeah, I get you. I understand. Yeah, Logan Paul. That's my Logan Paul. can
Listen,
he can he wrestle? Is he athletic? Yes. But do I like him? No, not at all.
I like Logan Paul more than I do Riddle.
Ugh. And with that being said, we'll just go ahead and wrap this part.
Well, who do you think's winning the tournament? Who wins New Japan Cup? Do you think it's Finlay?
I don't want that. I don't want that. Not at all. In the perfect world, in B Rob's world,
Hmm.
Yoda Suji is taking the cup.
Hmm.
That's in my world. Uh, second runner up. If I can't have Yoda Suji, if I could pick a replacement for that, Zack Sabre Jr.
Hmm.
But David Finlay, ew.
See, I have Finlay winning it. I have it beating Yoda in the final. I have
Oh
Suji
no!
getting to
Don't
the
do me
final.
like that. Don't do me like that.
No, I think
No,
Suji. See,
no, no,
I
no.
have Suji
I
getting.
I would rather Jeff Cobb beat Yoda in the first round than have him to lose in the final to fucking David Finlay.
I think Suji gets a big win over Zach in the semis. I think it's Suji versus Finlay in the final, and I think this is the last shot Finlay has at making a statement in a main event against Naito.
God,
He loses against Naito, but I think that's where this is going. I think Finlay gets one last shot to prove he can do something.
God, man. Why would you put that in my brain to think about?
It just makes a lot of sense to me because
Yeah, I mean, just given the the current buzz
like
around.
because you're not. I don't think you blow Naito and Zack on Sakura-Genesis,
Mhm.
and that seems like a good spot to see if maybe Finley can do a main event.
Yeah, fill the time, I guess.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
but yeah, that's and I hate that putting him over Suji, but I do think it's good for Suji making a New Japan
Yeah.
Cup final.
Hmm.
I think that
Yeah.
would be really good for him. I think the finish will be he gets screwed over at the end, so
Yeah,
he still
of
comes out looking
course.
good.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that just feels to me like where we're going.
Like I said, I gave you my picks in the perfect world, but
Yeah,
begrudgingly, I think it may belong to Finland.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah. I think there are bigger things for Zach down the road.
yeah. I mean, especially like, man, fuck it. If you're gonna do it, I would like it at Wrestle Kingdom.
I don't think we make Wrestle Kingdom. I do. I don't think Naito makes it to Wrestle Kingdom. I think Zach wins the G1
Mhm.
and he challenges at Royal Quest in the UK.
Oh, that makes all the sense.
I think you get Zach's big crowning moment at home.
And I would prefer that.
Mhm. And I think they book a bigger arena than usual, and that'll be the signal that, oh, that is where they're doing it. Like
Yeah.
it's not going to be like the Copper Box or something like that where they usually do it. Like it'll be it's not going to be at Wembley or
Mhm.
anything, but
Yeah, yeah.
it'll be like at the O2 Arena or something like that.
Yeah. So to kind of transition out of this and, kind of taper this off.
Yes.
Uh Out of the Japan promotions,
Hmm.
men's side or whatever. New Japan, Noah, All Japan. I mean, who you think is in a better position right now? And I
It's
only ask you because, like, I mean, I have no stake
so
in this or whatever because I don't really know the
it's
other two
yeah,
promotions.
and I only even me I only follow so much of them,
Mhm.
but I mean
I
it's
know
hard
about
to
Noah because
it's
Brian Keefe went there.
yeah. Oh no, he went to DDT.
Oh, DDT, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right. I take that
yeah,
back.
yeah.
Lord help me, Jesus.
Um, it's hard not to say New Japan just because they're the top act and they've been the top act for
Mm,
years. But I mean that hasn't always been the case.
mm,
They were they were probably number three in the mid early 2000s.
mm.
I mean when Noah first started and All Japan was like right at the end of Inoki's run. Uh, but I also haven't seen anything from either of the other two that makes me think they have something big enough to make that push past them.
Mm. And then
But
that's like, what the hell is up with Kitamura? I mean, not Kitamura. Yeah, is
Kiyomiya,
that yeah? Kiyomiya.
yeah.
What the fuck is up with that guy?
Oh, that's called the Great Muta wanted to have a 2-year retirement run and fucked everything up.
Yeah, because
That's
I
what
mean,
that is because
because
he was the top guy.
he had to deal with Okada,
Hmm.
and then he came over and did the freaking the G1 and shit,
Hmm.
had a good showing,
Hmm.
and then like he bounced back, then
And he's no longer a main event guy right now.
yeah,
Right
I
now
mean,
he's a middle of the card guy. When he was the top guy, he was the champ for a good stretch for them, and he was putting on matches where people were like, "Man, I wish I could see this guy in New Japan against these other top guys because this guy's great." And now he's kind of just another guy.
because when I first saw him, I saw Star,
Hmm.
whatever, and then like with my limited exposure to Noah versus New Japan or whatever, I mean, I think stylistic wise, Noah just looks better.
Oh, yeah,
It, it,
their production is
it just bar none. It's
yeah,
head and shoulders above New Japan or whatever.
yes.
But it's just like,
Basically, for everything except Wrestle Kingdom, their production is better.
oh man, it's just like the stage, just everything is just about Noah looks, and Noah's my sweet boy. But the professional company Noah, it looks miles ahead of New Japan, and I'm just like, I don't get why, you're the bigger company and you look like poop.
Yeah. And I'm sure they say, well, we don't have to. We're the big name. We don't have to do that.
Yeah, but
But
that's what happened with WWE.
mhm.
I mean, we don't have to because we the big shit or whatever.
Yeah.
And then your
We'll
product
just,
got stagnant.
yeah. Here's just the bland stage, the bland production,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then then All Japan, All Japan, their top guys are really good,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't have a great undercard. Kento Miyahara is a guy who could be a star anywhere. He's their top guy, just bar none. Uh, he's a guy I would love to see come to New Japan just because I don't think there's a lot more for him to do in All Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but he seems like one of those company guys that's just not going to go anywhere. But beyond him and a couple other guys, there's just not a huge amount there that wows me.
Mhm.
So I think they're going to kind of stay in the third spot for a while.
Word. Yeah. I don't
Like
know, but like,
if you told me DDT passed them up, it wouldn't shock me because they're getting a lot of really good big names.
yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. just had a match there.
Yeah, they just he's having a match team with Chris Brooks in April. Yeah,
Yeah, Chris Brooks. That guy, he's a Caucasian guy, right? He had
yeah,
the shoulder sling.
Yeah, the
Or,
British guy used to
yeah.
with Jonathan Gresham and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. I don't know. I just like, I'm trying to find time to watch alternative wrestling as comparable to what we talk about on RBR week to week or whatever.
Yeah, and they just announced that Wrestle Universe with Noah with Noah and TJP and stuff. They're adding Michinoku Pro and Wrestle One to that service too. So now you're going to have 6 different companies available on that one streaming service now.
So I need to find out. I probably have to go back and watch it. But when they did the All-Star Junior special or whatever, they had the freaking the 666 promotion or whatever, and they had the dead wrestler.
Yeah.
I need to find that shit. I want to watch that shit.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff in the indies over there if you dig deep enough.
I know. It's like he was a professional wrestler and he died, and now his spirit wrestles. I was like, I need to find more of this. Yeah.
They have a giant wrestling inflatable panda over there. So
yeah, I seen that. That's fucking wild. But anyway, so I mean, what I would tell you if you're listening to this right now, broaden your palette, diversify your palette or whatever.
Absolutely.
Watch TNA, or at least give it a chance. I wouldn't, peep in on it or whatever, because like Speedball Mike Bailey, I believe in Joe Hendry. I love that guy. That fucking cracks me up every time. Damn. People might have opinions about him, but I like Steve Macklin. Who else they got over there?
Josh Alexander.
Joe, bar none. Josh Alexander, fucking amazing. Jonathan Gresham, whenever he's healthy and he's there. I mean, it's just a lot of people there, and there's a lot of potential for TNA to, further its star power and whatnot. They need to get Eddie Edwards out of there. Every time I talk about TNA, I say that. Get Eddie Edwards' ass out of there. I'm glad Tommy Dreamer, I'm not glad, but they moved him into upper management, so now he's going to get off my fucking TV. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Don't need Tommy Dreamer on there. Get Brian Myers' ass up out of there. Just make room for the great talent that you got on that roster. Give them more shit to do. And by God, Ace Austin and goddamn Chris Bay. Either one of those, top 5 in any company you put them in, easily slotted in as world heavyweight champion. I can confidently say that about those 2 young men or whatever. Did outstanding in the tag league. Just my God, I mean, nothing but high praise for both of them. But yeah, watch more wrestling, people.
Yes.
Yeah. You got anything you want to say before we leave?
No, I think we covered a pretty good bit.
Yeah, some fun shit. Maybe we'll do it again later. Or maybe I'll actually do my own podcast. I mean, not specifically professional wrestling. I'm talking about like the podcast that I started in 2016 that I hadn't done in over a month.
Right.
But
no, yeah, we can come back and do this anytime you want.
Word. All right, cool. Well, with that being said, I appreciate y'all for coming in. I especially appreciate the man to my virtual right, my physical left, as I point at my wall. But that's all we got for you, and we'll see you next time.